I am hanging out here in the cut tonight. I hope you guys are doing well. It's very good to see you, and I hope you guys can see me and hear me okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly send out a quick text message to the rest of the family, let them know that we're live, let them know Black Intelligence is in full effect. If you just tuned in, I wanted to talk to you guys about just some of the stuff that was on TV with the Oscars and all this stuff. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but tonight the Oscars came on. I don't watch the Oscars. Nobody really watches it anymore. It's kind of a stupid show, and I think a lot of people feel like it's a waste of time. And anyway, there was a Black man named Billy Porter who wore this tuxedo dress to the Oscars, which was really fascinating. Oh, Instagram will have to cut you guys out for a second because something's going wrong here. Hold on. All right, so there's this guy named Billy Porter who wore this tuxedo dress to the Oscars that was about the craziest thing I'd ever seen. I mean, he really was looking kind of ridiculous, but of course, they thought it was just, fabulous and fascinating and amazing and extraordinary and bold and revolutionary and everything else. And I'm gonna show you guys this picture. It's actually up on my Instagram if you want to see it before I post it. My Instagram's The Real Boyce Watkins. But yeah, you got to see this. This is some real coonery, basically. It's straight coonery. That's what it is. It's some old minstrel show type shit. But anyway, let me see here. Okay. So I am now sending out the text message to let everybody know that we're live. So if you want to get a text alert when we go live, just type my name Boyce into your phone and text that to the number 31996. So if you text Boyce to 31996, you'll get a notification. The reason it's important to get on the text list is because sometimes YouTube doesn't send notifications out when we go live. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of what's going down. So anyway, so check this out. All right, so this is a guy. I didn't know anything about this dude. His name's Billy Porter, and apparently he's an actor. And they totally, like, just decided to make him just the most prominent Negro of the ceremony. Why? Well, because he showed up. Somebody says, Doc, we can see the picture. Can we see the picture? Yeah, I'll show you the picture. They decided to make this guy into the most celebrated Negro in America because he wore a dress to the Oscars. And I'm gonna tell you, it's really kind of sad because it kind of just, is this reflection of exactly what the deal is. The deal for the Black man in Hollywood typically is pretty basic. It just says, as long as you relinquish your manhood at the door, then you can have whatever you want. We'll make dreams come true, Negro. Give me a second. Let me stop this share so I can share the right screen because I'm hitting the wrong buttons, guys. So give me 1 second. Okay. I'm going to try this one more time, see if I can do this right. Hold on. There we go. Okay. See, I shared it and I unshared it. See, that's how bad it was. And everybody who's on Instagram, I'll share it with you all too in a second. Hold on. There we go. Okay. All right, I finally found it. Sorry, you got to forgive me. Sometimes I get a little computer stupid. All right, so check it out. So I'll enlarge it so you can kind of see it. And what I'll do is you guys on Instagram, just flip it around. If you want to see the actual straight on YouTube, you can go to drboycetv.com. But I'll just hold the phone here. But look at this. So this is him getting ready for the Oscars. He's putting on his dress, and he's got, of course, white people are getting him dressed. I mean, that's kind of what it is. That's sort of the usual package. I told you guys when I was talking about Kamala Harris, and the husband and everything, like that whole like marrying white is not something that just happens by accident. It gets you into a certain club. So you see here, this is him with his husband. His husband's name's Adam something. And I would be willing to bet you my last dollar that he's in the entertainment industry. And that's how they get it. That's how Lee Daniels got his opportunities, all that stuff. Here's another picture. He's, I guess, seeking to look as fabulous as possible at the Globe Awards. So he's, he likes his attention, and he's kind of, like, okay, look at me, look at me, look at me. Kind of a little bit of what it kind of ties back into the Jussie Smollett thing. Jussie Smollett's whole, facade, his whole hoax was all about getting attention. And you see here he is again. So he's ecstatic, and white people are all standing around him taking pictures because he's such a wonderful looking Negro. And they're just so excited that this Negro has finally modernized himself, and he's not backwards like the rest of us black people who actually want our men to be real men. He's a hero. He's a beacon of hope and light for his community, right? And there he is again with his husband, looking like the beautiful bride that apparently he wants to be. And there he is again, looking, I guess, bold and defiant and saying, I'm going to wear the dress no matter what black people think about me. And that's kind of what happens. They're kind of as backward as a lot of the ignorant rappers. It's like, you get white folks put you out, out there on top of the world. They give you a little bit of money and you start to feel like you're better than black people. You feel like, your goal, your job is to educate us and to make us into whatever the hell they turned you into, when really the truth of the matter is that we actually have far more insights into our humanity than you do. We understand history. We understand that you could go back to the plantation, and the white man been dressing black men up like women since they arrived on slave ships. That's been a fantasy of theirs. They've loved doing that. They love seeing the black man in a wig and a dress. Like, that really turns them on. So ultimately, it's not like you're doing anything bold or anything new. It's not like you're doing anything that's special for the community. I mean, sure, it might be your thing. Maybe that's what you do. Maybe, you like to, get naked with men and do whatever you do. And that's cool. Ain't nobody judging that. But I know some gay people, and they're not out here being flamboyant, trying to put on dresses and all this other shit. They're just gay. That's just who they are. Just like, I know men who there are men, I'm sure, that like big booties, but they don't go announcing it everywhere they don't go. They don't wear a t-shirt that says, I love big booties. No, because that's over the top. It's annoying. Like, people don't want to hear who you're fucking and what you're doing in the bedroom. Like, I don't know, ladies, do you announce what you like when you get in the bed with a man? Like, do you wear t-shirts and tell everybody who you want to have sex with and what kind of sex you like to have? No, nobody does that. So I kind of think that, what you're really seeing is you're seeing, again, what I call white liberal social engineering. And white liberal social engineering is built around trying to make society into what you think it should be. Right? Instead of what it actually is and what it naturally is, making it into what you think it should be. So you think all the boys should be girls and all the girls should be boys. Well, then you just go around and you just start saying that shit, and you think that everybody's supposed to go along with the program. And fortunately, there are people that are just part of the resistance. There are people that just say, no, this is not good for the black community. It's not good for the black man. It's not good for our image. Like, we want to be men too. We want our men represented in a certain way. So why is it that, when you look at media, which is the most transformative platform that there is all throughout the world in terms of spreading an image globally of who you are and what you represent, why is it that the black people that tend to get the most attention tend to be the men who are putting on wigs and dresses? The Terry Cruzes and all these other, highly feminized men. Why is it that they get put to the front of the line ahead of men who are protective and supportive of their masculinity, who love a black woman, who love their community, who want to be real men? So I mean, just to be honest with you, I don't really watch the Oscars at all. And the good thing is that not many people are watching the Oscars. The Oscars is not, the ratings drop every year. They did that whole situation with Kevin Hart where they gave him a hard time about some tweets from 8 years ago or something, and he chose not to do it. And now they don't have a host, and and the Oscars don't mean anything. The Oscars, if you read the book How the Jews Invented Hollywood, it explains how the Oscars were actually created. The Oscars were manufactured, and basically, they were manufactured by executives, company or entertainment industry executives who did not want to give the actors a pay raise. So instead of money, they said, let's make up these awards and just give them out to feed their ego and feed their need for attention. Roy says, thank you, Roy, for your support, for your donation. I appreciate it. He says, if this BS is woke, I'm going back to sleep. I agree. That's not woke. This is not wokeness. I mean, announcing your sexual desires is not exactly wokeness to me. I mean, okay, fine. Let's start tomorrow. Everybody who cheats on their husband or their wife, like, go and form a coalition and say, I have the right to love who I want, and I want to just have sex with whoever I want. Anybody who has sex with dogs, like just go, form a coalition and say, we want to have sex with dogs, and that's our right to do that. We love these dogs. We're dog lovers. Come on. I really am not clear or sure how we have this society where somehow we decided that who you want to have sex with, who you want to fuck, becomes a political issue. Like, whoever you want to fuck, just fuck them. Just don't tell me. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't got to sign off on it. I ain't got to tell you congratulations or, I hope you have more sex. Like, that's not my business. Anyway, what else is going on? Well, somebody mentioned earlier about this whole thing with Jussie Smollett. I don't know if you guys saw the Jussie Smollett. Now people are texting me saying, "Oh, well, doc, there's new evidence. There's new evidence that Jussie might be innocent." I say, yeah, right, okay. And I got some land I want to sell you in Timbuktu. Also, if you're dumb enough to believe Jussie Smollett's innocent, then I ain't nothing I can do for you. But the guys that attacked him are saying that the check was actually for training services and wasn't for the actual incident. Yeah, of course that's what Jussie's lawyers are gonna say. Of course that's what they're gonna. What do you think? I mean, at the end of the day, the bottom line is that Jussie Smollett pretended that he was beat up by some white people wearing MAGA hats or some racists who put a noose around his neck, and it turned out that the two assailants were two Nigerian dudes who were friends of his. Don't you think he would have mentioned that? Don't you think that when the police report, he would have said, "Oh, I know them niggas. I know them, both of them up. I work with their asses, and they came and beat me up after work." Like, don't you think that he would have said that? No, I'm sorry. There is no scenario. There is no new evidence. There's no special phone call that you could put out that's going to make me think Jussie Smollett is innocent. I don't believe it. I know I believe he's guilty. I think they're going to concoct a story. They're going to shape a narrative, and they're going to try to create where they just sow seeds of doubt. That's what they're going to basically, because that's what you do in the court of law. You don't actually have to prove you're innocent. You only have to prove that you have reasonable doubt. So basically, they're going to say, well, what about this mystery text message that he sent to his mama saying, "Mama, I just got beat up by two guys with MAGA hats." Like this mystery text message, that's what exonerates Jussie. Don't know nothing exonerate Jussie. Jussie's a lying motherfucker. Jussie used the political environment to tell a lie, and he politicized it, and he did it for attention. He did it to boost his career. And now he's paying a price for it. Let's see. We are building leaders at Black Heights. All right. Good for you. Good for you, Black Heights. And thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. If you want to support the Black media and support the channel, you can actually become a patron at intelligentblackpeople.com. That's intelligentblackpeople.com. So you get a lot of free stuff also. It's not just patronage. It's something where we give you free access to things, stuff like that. Hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't done that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you have any questions, I'll read through your questions. Let me see. Tangibles 2020. Absolutely. The mulatto don't represent us. Okay. That mulatto don't. I don't know what mulatto you're talking about. I need that t-shirt. Yeah, these shirts, if you go to blackunities.com, UNITEES, so Unities, get it t-shirt. So blackunities.com is where you can buy this shirt. So if you want to get a shirt like this that says financially woke, go ahead and go to blackunities.com. And we got books and stuff you can buy for your family at drboycebooks.com. It's drboycebooks.com. ADOS for life, absolutely. Just heard that the Green Book won for best film. Yeah, I don't know if it was Green Book or the Black Panther or both, but they won other Oscars. It wasn't like best picture or anything at that time. It was like best musical score or something. And you know what I never understand about the Oscars is I never understand how, you'll have a Black movie win an award and the people going up on the award to get the award are white. You ever seen that before? Where you have this movie that's supposed to be blackity black, black, black. And when the award is like won and the people go pick up the award, it's like a white guy picking up the award. I mean, are you kidding right now? Like we can't even get jobs like telling our own stories. Like that's so stupid to me. Anyway, let me see. Jada Pinkett praises the guy in the dress. Her son Jaden wears dresses too. Yeah, I think that there's something there. I think they're trying to tell us something. I'll just leave it like that. I'm not going to try to speak on the Smith family one way or the other, but I will say, I mean, if somebody keeps wearing a dress over and over again, they're probably telling you something. But I think at the same time, I don't think that there's one way to be gay. Like, I don't think being gay means being flamboyant or wearing dresses. I think they're just gay people who are just gay. That's my 2 cents. Let's see. We have been replaced, Doc. Replaced with what? Yes, Jussie's innocent. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, right. I was thinking the same thing. Focus on census 2020. We need those numbers. Claim the race. Go create your own. Calling it different. It's simple. Hollywood isn't controlled by us, but there's a lot of coons there. That's true. I don't really pay much attention to Hollywood. I think that when we support movies, we should support as many Black movies as possible. I haven't heard anything, or do I choose to watch anything, but maybe I need to, because it's a whole conspiracy against him. Okay. But Dr. Boyce and the people, do you feel Jussie Smollett should have been a last minute Oscar nominee? No, I mean, I don't know why. I don't know why he would be nominated for an Oscar. Will Smith said he gave his kids too much freedom and he regrets it. Interesting. I never heard him say that, but it's surprising. Let's be honest, Blacks have made movies, are underfunded and low-key suck. I have to be honest. Yeah, well, I've seen some good ones though. There's some good ones. Mark Harris makes really good movies, and he's Black. And he's very principled. He knows the responsibility of the platform. So Mark isn't going to go out and make some garbage and some nonsense. But there are some movies out there that have some work to do. But I think you can still support those movies and still go, still see some of the Hollywood stuff that you like, but you can reject the Hollywood stuff that you don't like. And I just some stuff I reject. Like I don't like when Hollywood starts preaching to me. Like I don't like when they push an agenda where I get a sense that they're really telling me like, hey, you really want to be gay, right? You know that being gay is like the thing to be. You want to use some cocaine to go with it. Here's be gay and use cocaine. Like it's just like, man, come on, like stop it, just quit it. And what do y'all think about this R. Kelly stuff? What do y'all think about R. Kelly? I saw a story today where apparently there are women that are trying to bail him out. Did y'all hear about that? Where he's actually got some female fans that are trying to help him raise the $100,000 to get out of jail. What do you think about that? Well, that shows you how deep things can get, how deep the mental illness can go. Well, I think the thing about R. Kelly is, the reason that he's a problem is because, we really kind of, as a community, we have to deal with this issue of men dating underage girls. There are a lot of guys out there that do that. Like if you go through the hood, you're going to see like a whole lot of young girls, that are like, 15, 16 years old that are pregnant, and their boyfriends are usually 20, 21, 24, 25, 28, and I think that, kind of as a community, we have to think about like, how do we feel about that? Like, is that the same as rape? Is that the same as child molestation? Or, I don't know. I'm not trying to say that, I wouldn't say that it's right or wrong. I'm going to say that sitting like Russell Simmons yoga style. Now I'm just sitting back in the chair trying to get comfortable. But I kind of am, I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, 100 years ago, people did that kind of stuff. Like there were people that wanted their 16-year-old daughter to get married so that they could have more money in the household. Does that make it right? I wouldn't say that, but I would definitely say that as a community, we should have a conversation on this that's not sort of preempted by whatever white people think the rules should be. It's like whatever white people tell us the new rules are, that's what we decide the new rules are going to be, right? And I don't like that part, but I do think that, if you look at R. Kelly and his experiences with women and young girls, I've always had a problem with guys like that are sexually irresponsible and hitting on a whole bunch of young girls and doing whatever they want to do and whatever. But at the same time, it's very frustrating when you try to talk to those young girls and you try to warn them, like, hey, that guy's no good. Like, don't get caught up in that stuff. And they want to pass up the nerdy guy. They don't want so-and-so because he's too lame or he's too square. So you want to go jump in R. Kelly's bins. Well, there's consequences that come with that. There's going to be, don't come back claiming you're a victim now because your little plan didn't work out because your daddy told you that that's not a good move. That's not a good move. It's almost like those brothers that run around chasing white women. Like, it's your right to do that. It's okay. You can do that if you want to. But when you are in a bad situation, people are only going to have so much sympathy for you. Now, let me see. Did somebody here say he's white? Hey, I'm white. I'm not setting any rules. That's funny. Um, he's a terrible human being. But again, it's terrible to see Black people in power condemn them, but then want to hear all the facts when a white person do so. Yeah, well, I think the big issue with R. Kelly is not whether or not R. Kelly is worth saving. I don't think he is. I don't care about R. Kelly. I don't. I think the issue with R. Kelly is how these white people want to act like the only sexual predators in America are Black men. That's the problem. It's like y'all have exposés and documentaries and all kinds of like massive media pushes to expose one guy, but you don't do that with all those people in Hollywood, all those damn pedophiles you got in Hollywood, all those rapists you got in Hollywood. And they don't touch the gay pedophiles. They don't touch them at all because that's a protected class. They won't talk about Ed Buck and all the dead Black gay men that ended up in his apartment. They're not pushing on that the way they're pushed on R. Kelly because they don't want to make that connection between pedophilia and homosexuality. They don't want to touch that connection. They don't want to talk about the studies that link some of this. They don't want to talk about the fact that a lot of young Black boys that catch HIV, they catch it when they're 14 or 15 from older men. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to touch that because because they want to paint the straight man, especially the straight Black man, as the cause of all of society's problems. He's the one that is doing all this deviant shit. And the fact of the matter is that we know that men and women across the board are doing deviant shit, but we're only pointing out one group shit and ignoring somebody else's shit. Do we have another documentary? Yeah, we got a documentary. We actually have a film division called Boyce Watkins Films, and our latest film is called The Black Love Blueprint. If you want to see the trailer, it's theblackloveblueprint.com. It's a great film. Directed by Dorian Chandler, executive produced by S.T. Brown from Ebony Magazine. And basically we talk about Black love and relationships and the pending war between Black men and Black women and how to avoid that war, how to overcome that war. And so if you want to see the trailer, go to theblackloveblueprint.com. That's theblackloveblueprint.com. Let me see. He says Shrek looking ass. It's very rampant in the gay community for these older men to be messing with these teenagers. Hell yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, you want to be real, like that whole like relationship thing between teenagers and adults, it's been happening across, sexual orientations, across cultures for thousands of years, and it ain't gonna stop anytime soon. I think it's okay. Like if we decided as a society that it's illegal and it's wrong, then I think we should agree to that. But, you can't tell me that if you went through Bill Clinton's long sexual history, that Bill Clinton never had sex with a 16-year-old. You can't tell me, obviously, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, he's probably gone lower than that, which is too much crazy. All of it's crazy. I mean, if you're breaking the law, you're breaking the law, right? But, you can't tell me that all these white men in Hollywood, these white gay men in Hollywood, that they, pay attention, think about this. And what was it? If you look in the fashion industry, look at the way those women look in the fashion industry. Those fashion models do not look like women half the damn time. They look like anorexic 12-year-old boys. They look like 12-year-old boys who weigh about 80 pounds. And that is not a coincidence. That is because in the mind of that designer, that is an object of sexual affection. That is something that he wants. So people tend to want whatever they desire. Like that's why I always said a dead giveaway. Half the time, I'll be honest with you, half the time a dead giveaway about whether a celebrity, when you talk about rappers and stuff, whether they, might be gay or not, which I don't care about that. I truly just don't care what a man's sexual preference is. I'm not responsible for another man's penis. I'm only responsible for my own. But the one dead giveaway is, who do you have around you? Who do you have around you? Tell me if you, please, somebody say something, so I know I'm not by myself. Tell me if you ever notice this. Do you ever notice like dudes that really like women, they don't really always have like a lot of gay dudes like all around them, like really close. Like they don't say like this gay guy is like my closest, bestest buddy, and he goes with me everywhere I go. When that happens, his wife's gonna be like, okay, why is he with you everywhere you go? Right? A lot of times there might be a woman next to him, or whatever, but it's like when a man has like several gay dudes like right there in his mix all the time. I'm not trying to say anything politically correct, but y'all know what I'm saying here. Y'all know what I'm saying. Like it says something, right? Just it's same thing. That's why do you think that the only groups of people in America that are able to make almost as much money in corporate America as the white man are the black woman and the white woman and the gay black man? Because the white man wants people next to him that he either is fucking, could be fucking, thought about fucking, wants to fuck, or just fantasizes about fucking. Would fuck if he possibly could, but probably but isn't fucking them. Like that's what it is. Like that's why certain people can get into certain spaces and some people can't. That's why there's places where my woman can go and I'll see where they'll invite her right in, but they'll tell me like, you can wait outside, right? Like think about the club. Look at the club. Why do you think the clubs are like the pretty girls? They're like, come on in. But the dudes, they might let one in for every 10, whatever, you know what I mean? Like they're letting 10 women and one man, right? Because that's kind of what people do, right? So when, when you have certain, celebs or rappers or whatever, or politicians, leading politicians who have maybe this person right next to him, and he's like, oh, this is my body man. This is my main guy that's with me everywhere I go. And that person is gay, then I'll be thinking, oh yeah, he's probably gay too. He just ain't admitted it. Because and that's the thing. That's why we have to have a healthier relationship with homosexuality, because it's everywhere and it's not going to go away. And there are people in your own family who are gay, and you have to find a way to love them anyway, right? You have to love them anyway. But you can still love them without it, without somebody telling you that this is what you need to be too, or telling you that you have to become comfortable with something you're not comfortable with. Like if you're not comfortable with your children being exposed to certain ideas in school, then it's your right to say, no, that's not what my child's going to be learning. My child won't be learning that at school. And it's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you homophobic. It just makes you a human being who has the right to decide what the fuck they want to do with their kids, period. Anyway, it's getting out of control. I think that they're shoving it down your throat. And I think that it's going to backfire on them, because I see a lot of people that are afraid of a lot of Black people that are afraid to support the Democratic Party because they don't want more of that nonsense. They don't want more of that shit. Boyce, why are we focusing on LGBT? Aren't they like 2% of the population? Why do they get so much airtime? I don't know if they're 2%. I have no idea. I believe that most people that are in the LGBT community do not reveal themselves to be gay. I think that that's why you saw this massive groundswell of political support in the Obama presidency from a lot of people who technically weren't gay. But I know for a fact that a lot of these people actually are gay and bisexual. They just don't tell anybody because they don't want it. They believe that if they tell people that they're gay, that's going to hurt their ability to push forward with their agenda. That's what it is. Believe me, there are a lot of people at the top, very popular Black people that you know of that have, there's stories. I'll just say that. I live in Chicago. I hear everything. All right. So anyway, would there ever be a Boyce Watkins produced scripted series? Yeah, it's not so easy. Infidel, we're working on it, and we've got people that we shoot films with, and I got a partnership with Rick Mathis. We're doing this project called Black Moneymakers, which is pretty cool, and it's just making films is very expensive, and it's very hard to monetize. It's very hard to get your money back. So if we had the funding and the support, we'd make a lot more movies. We do a lot more stuff, but you can only do as much as the community will get behind, right? So if you want to help us with this, if you hear that we have a movie, if you can like rent it or buy it or support it somehow, that would really mean a lot to us, because that's the big challenge, is raising the money. Kamala Harris, that damn bed witch. Okay, I didn't know I ain't call her a bed witch now, but let me see. I got actually, there's a picture of her with Al Sharpton here. Let me show you guys the pictures that I was showing you earlier of this guy, Billy Porter. He reminds me of Taye Diggs. They're all into this whole like, I'm going to be like extra gay thing, and I think that that's helping them like get opportunities in Hollywood. So let me see here. So there he is getting ready for the Oscars, and he's going to wow the crowd with his beautiful dress. And let me see if I can make this go. There we go. There's him with his husband. And of course, marrying the white guy in Hollywood. Ahead. That's how, a lot of people get it that way. This is him. I don't know what this Superfly thing is that he's got going on, but this is him clearly trying to make an impression at the Golden Globes. And this is him, a happy white woman, and who is ecstatic that everyone loves his tuxedo dress. And this is him with his husband, and he's proud and to be with the man that he loves. And yeah, okay. And that's him being bold, I guess, and bold and beautiful and stuff. And that's another picture of him. And I have another picture of Al Sharpton with Kamala Harris, in case you wanted a good laugh. So yeah. So yeah, I don't know. All right, let me see if you guys have any more questions before I bounce out of here. Let me see. What is he about 4 feet tall? I don't know. Why does the chat ignore what Jussie Smollett did? Why isn't it bad when the pointed finger at 2 white men who are actually Nigerian black men? Come on, let's be fair. I think Jussie was a liar, so I don't know exactly what you mean by that, but yeah, that's my verdict on Jussie. I think he's lying. No disrespect, but this gay guy in the dress is sick. Come on, black people. I think it's a problem because that's kind of that's the image of the black man they push out to the world. They don't really push masculine images of black men out to the world. And so what happens is that's the image that other people see when they see you. And it's also one that we internalize. So a lot of our men don't grow up, wanting to be men. They grow up thinking that the more masculine they are, the less successful they'll be. So it's just like the plantation, when you have, when on the plantation, whenever you had a big, strong black man, big buck black man, they would rape him in front of his sons, or they would beat him, within an inch of his life. And then they would basically kind of be sending a message to the other slaves, like, look, if you ever stand up like this, if you ever show too much manhood, we're going to do the same thing to you. So Hollywood loves to see black men in a dress and a wig. I think it's a sexual fantasy of theirs, because I think the black man, we're naturally muscular, and we're just naturally attractive people. So I think that they'll get Terry Crews and put him in a wig and a dress and a thong, and they'll act like it's a joke, but it's not a joke. It's really, they're literally getting erections watching this happen. And Terry Crews and people like him, they kind of go along with that because they feel like that's the only way you can have an opportunity if you're black and you're in Hollywood, is you put on that wig and you put on that dress. And there are some men who resist against it. Dave Chappelle did, and you saw Dave Chappelle kind of got a hard time, but Dave Chappelle's doing okay. So maybe there's opportunities. At the end of the day, we have to develop our own black Hollywood. That's the bottom line. Like we can't keep going to their space and expecting to change their rules. We have to have our own space so we can make our own rules. So anyway, yes, it is coonery. It's definitely coonery. But he's going to be successful for the same reasons Lee Daniels is successful. Lee Daniels is very successful because Lee Daniels had a white, gay, Jewish boyfriend, and he became really indoctrinated into the Jewish culture. And he was pretty much ready to say or do any derogatory thing toward black people that made white people happy. And that's why he has a show. That's why he's successful. So what we have to do as black people is redefine what success actually looks like. Stop thinking that these Hollywood Negroes are successful. They are not successful. They are complete miserable failures, half of them. Hey, Doc, what's your take on the ADOS movement? I support it. I'm an American descendant of slaves, so I support it. But one of the things I do believe about reparations is that black people can get a reparations bill passed tomorrow. We can get $1 trillion reparations package passed tomorrow. But the reason it won't make much of a difference is because if you don't shift your mindset when it comes to wealth, you will have no wealth. Your wealth will not last. Well, think about this. What if they signed $1 trillion reparations package like the lady asked 10 times more than she asked for, which is not going to happen. But let's say that it did. Let's say they gave her $1 trillion and said, we're going to give $1 trillion to African Americans, descendants of slaves, to make up for slavery. Well, pay attention, Black people. Our Black spending power every year is about 1.2 trillion. We give over $1 trillion right back to white people. So that trillion that you receive would be given right back. So literally, not only are you not receiving reparations for what was stolen from you blatantly, you are actually paying reparations to white people. You're literally paying an amount of money that would be in a massive reparations bill that could be actually paid to yourself. So if you ever want real reparations, Black people, I'm gonna tell you the honest to God truth. I support reparations bills because I don't want to be completely negative and be disrespectful to people's political energy, although I think sometimes it's a waste of energy because these politicians are about as dysfunctional as a pair of fucking green left socks. I mean, these motherfuckers they can't even agree on the damn color of the toilet paper in the bathroom, let alone $1 trillion, transformative movements in government. But whatever it is, fuck it. Okay, fine. You want to believe in this shit, go ahead. But here's the thing. If you want real reparations, Black people, you got to give yourself reparations. You got to give yourself reparations by changing your mindset. If you just took the money that you give away to white businesses and gave 20% of that money back to Black businesses, just 20% of that, then that would be a multi-trillion-dollar reparations bill, a multi-trillion-dollar wealth transfer, unlike anything that we've seen in the history of this country. If every Black person in America did follow my $5 a day investing plan, where you invested an average of $5 a day in the stock market, the same amount of money you spend on a McDonald's value meal. Instead of claiming to be poor, just take the same amount of money you spend on fast food, put that into stocks and do that for your children. Then that would be a multi-trillion-dollar wealth transfer for your children in the next generation and an even greater wealth transfer for your grandchildren. Right. So you can give yourself reparations. But, if we sit around and we think that white people are eventually going to decide to do the right thing and to make up for the damage that they caused, then I think that we're making a fool out of ourselves. I think that what you're doing is you're cursing your children and your grandchildren. The reason you're cursing them is because you're basically creating a situation where you say, okay, I could do something right now. But instead of doing something for myself, instead of doing for self on any level, we're going to sit and we're going to wait for white people. We're waiting for white Jesus. And so we're going to sit here and wait. So you might get lucky. White Jesus might show up for your ass. The Democrats might come to their senses and decide to do something different from anything they've ever done in American history. And they may come through and give you that money. But what if white people keep acting white? What if they keep doing what they've been doing? Then what's going to happen is you're going to waste your life. You're going to waste this whole generation. You're going to waste your whole opportunity doing absolutely nothing, absolutely nothing, absolutely nothing. And then your children are going to walk into the world with nothing except maybe, $200,000 in student loan debt or whatever you left them, a negative net worth. And they're going to have the same problems that you have right now. The biggest thing that we got to watch out for in our community in this generation is we must make sure that we do better than our parents did for us. We must make sure that we are not having the same problems in the year 2070 that we have in the year 2019. And the way you do that is you take what you've got and you do something with what you've got. Black people in America have more wealth than 95% of all countries on this planet. We have more wealth than 95% of all countries. I'm talking about countries like Yugoslavia and Colombia. Like we have more wealth than all those countries. So, this idea that we have nothing to work with is about the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because, we are literally funding to the tune of trillions of dollars. We're funding an entire entertainment industry. We're funding, Nike. Like Nike did the Colin Kaepernick ad because they said, if we can get Negroes to keep giving us all this cash, then we can make major bank off of this shit. Nike don't care about the issue that much. They care about it a little bit, but they really care about your damn money. And they're like, look, if we sow support to Kaepernick, then they're going to show up and buy Nike sneakers, and that's going to be a windfall for us. So I'm just saying to you that there is no debate on this. There really is no debate. Like, there is no debate between whether you should do for self or fight for reparations. You can ask for both. You can demand both. Every time a politician asks for my vote, I tell them, I demand reparations if you want my vote. I do that every single time. So anybody who thinks that because I'm a do for self or that means I don't support reparations, that's dumb. That's a person who's looking for something to fight about. Black people are good at finding things to fight about. That's why I told y'all, some of these YouTubers got to be ashamed of themselves. They ain't nothing but They ain't nothing but Negroes sitting there with a YouTube channel, living in their mama's basement, and all they got is a YouTube channel. They never built nothing. They never employed nobody. They never created nothing. You just went on YouTube and ran your mouth or whatever. And what it does is it's stupid because they look for things to fight about so they can get high views on their videos because that's their only source of income. Well, what I'm saying to you is, you know, we need to listen to people that have real solutions and implement those solutions in our lives, you know, instead of sort of acting like hamsters on a wheel and sort of just running in place really, really hard, where we're just fighting each other and finding reasons to hate each other and attack each other. Like it's just stupid to me. It's ignorant. So anyway, so that's it. That's my take on ADOS. I support ADOS. I support Tangibles 2020. I support us too. That's the hashtag for Dr. Claude Anderson and Powernomics. You know, I just think all those hashtags should be used. And I think that we can fight for what we want politically, but I don't believe in no damn politicians. These damn politicians ain't done nothing. They can't even do nothing for America. What makes you really think, how much you really think they're gonna do for you as Black people? They ain't gonna do, you know, I mean, I'm not saying they won't. I'm not saying give up. I'm saying, man, if that's your only card, bro, I mean, if that's the only card that you can play, what the fuck, man? That's all we got? Like, that's all you got? Is let's wait for white people, like let's wait for the same people who've oppressed us for 400 years to save us? Really? Like, would you tell a rape victim to wait for the rapist to come and help her heal from the rape itself? Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Anyway, have I seen that interview with Kamala Harris? I saw her interview with the Breakfast Club. I talked to Charlemagne about it, and I sent him some tangibles that I thought that he should ask for. In fact, I'll read you what I text him. It should be public information. I don't think Charlemagne would have a problem with it because we didn't talk about anything top secret. I just told him what I think people like Kamala Harris need to talk about. And she has changed her tune a little bit. So that actually tells me maybe she's listening. I'm not going to presume Kamala's a bad person. I'm just going to say that I think that, you know, I think that we have to let her know that the fake stuff doesn't work. You know, that you can't just, you know, come in and just say anything and expect Black people to support you. That's not going to happen anymore. So let me see if I can find the text I sent to Charlemagne. Or he actually texted me and I texted him back. Let me see here. Okay, I can't find it. It's not in my phone. Wait, maybe I can look his name up real quick. But anyway, but yeah, I thought about it a little bit, right? And I was thinking about the things that would make for adequate reparations for Black people, right? And some of the things that came up were things that relate to, here we go, let me see if I can find the text, would relate to things like student loans, stuff like that. So one of the things I mentioned to him was support for Black businesses through either grants, loans, or seed capital. Like, I never really understood why a Black college student, a young Black person can get, yeah, it'll be available on YouTube. You can go to drboycetv.com if you want to watch the rebroadcast or the recording. Yeah, you know, I think that it's ironic that a young Black person can get $100,000 to go to college, but can't get $20,000 to start a business. And the reason they give you $100,000 to go to college is for the same reasons the Democrats want to help you vote. You know, if I'm a university and I'm the white man and I have my system, then it helps me to give you loans to afford to come into my system. Like, imagine if you had a business and you were charging, you know, $1,000 for a pair of sneakers, and the government let you give people $1,000 loans where you could say, hey, look, the government will fund you $1,000 to buy my $1,000 sneakers, then that benefits you, right? Because they're going to take that money and they're going to turn right around and give it back to you. The government will pay you immediately. So the universities get their money right away. The student is the one that's stuck with the bill over the next 40 years, right? So basically, student loans only benefit, you know, these majority white institutions that are getting rich off of your family's future. They're taking all your family's future wealth in exchange for this college degree that isn't worth what they're offering to you. So what I said is that I think candidates should stop trying to help Black kids go to college per se, or stop just focusing on that, and instead focus on giving them access to capital that they can use for whatever they want, right? So how about when you get to be, you know, 18 years old, if you have a good business idea and you need $30,000 for that business, then as a descendant of slaves, you should be able to get that $30,000. And you have 5 people, I got my 30, you get your 30, there's 5 of us, we got 150 grand. Or we could create a hell of a business because Black people are the best in the world at turning a dollar, making a dollar out of 15 cents. So I said, why not just divert some of those resources so that we can get business loans instead of student loans, because student loans leave us in debt for life, and also deepen our indebtedness to the white man's economic system, because all a college degree typically does is it puts you deep in debt to get a piece of paper so you can go work for a white man, so you can go work in their economic system, so you can pay off the debt by working for them. So you're gaining more debt to pay off the debt, right? Because the deeper you're in it, the deeper indebted you are in it, the deeper connected, the more deeply you're connected to it, the more deeply you're enslaved by it, the more heavily you're controlled by it. So effectively, if I want to curse a Black child, then what I do is I put them $150,000 in debt and then send them to go work for a white man to go pay off this debt, which they'll never repay. So I've effectively made them into a highly educated sharecropper. Most Black college students, Black college graduates, are in many cases highly educated sharecroppers. Sharecroppers are people that were put deep in debt and were working off the debt, right? But they never worked off the debt. So if you're working off a debt that is never repaid, then you basically are a sharecropper. So some other things I mentioned were reparations for slavery, of course, a Marshall Plan to invest billions of dollars in renewing urban areas. We need a Marshall Plan, same way they rebuilt Iraq and they rebuilt after World War II, they should rebuild the Black community. Specific reference and remedies for the Black unemployment rate. That means don't just talk about the rising tide will lift all boats, talk about specific, unique solutions to solve the Black unemployment problem. If I were sitting down with Kamala Harris or anybody who's running for president, I would tell them, you need to stop solving old problems in the same old ways. Stop coming with the same dumb solutions that we know never work. You can't solve the Black unemployment crisis by trying to get more white people to give Black people jobs. That's not going to work. We've tried it. It's never worked. So stop promising something that doesn't work. The way you can get jobs for Black people is you support Black businesses, because Black business owners are the ones who are most likely to hire Black people. So what you do is you take a few $100 billion and you create economic incubators that are fully funded, fully capitalized, with really great business instructors who will teach hundreds of thousands of Black children how to start really great businesses and run solid organizations and have a solid HR department and do all the things they need to do in order to create a sustainable job for their community. And then you plop those businesses right back in the hood, so that when people in the hood get $1 in their pocket, they're spending that money at a Black business, and that Black business is using that money to hire Black people. The people that will hire Black people will be Black people. White people don't hire you. They just don't like you very much. I hate to break that to you, but that's true. I mentioned the thing with cops. I mentioned mandatory body cams for cops. I don't like this idea they can just turn it off whenever they want to. Financial support for independent Black schools that have been proven to be able to educate Black kids on a shoestring budget. Here's the thing. They talk about education a lot. If you ask politicians, well, what do you believe in? Well, I believe in education and for all, healthcare for all. Shut up. Stop it. Criminal justice reform. You're sounding really vague right now. You're like a cloud. We need you to be a brick. We need you to be a rock, and you're looking a little bit like a cloud, Cory Booker. Be specific. Here's the deal. When it comes to education, Black kids aren't being educated because they're being educated by white people in these poorly funded inner city schools that don't have the tools necessary to educate these kids. So not only are they not educating them properly, they're not giving them any amount of proper love, because this little Black kid is being educated by some white lady from the suburbs who don't even understand his Black ass. So it's going to be a bad situation from the jump. So that's why you're producing more rappers, basketball, football players, and future convicts than you're producing actually educated children. You're not even teaching them basic things about people like Marcus Garvey. Every Black child should know about Marcus Garvey as one of the top 3 people that they learn about from all American history, period. Like, why is it that a Black child can go through school for 18 years and never learn a thing about Marcus Garvey? Well, that is by design. They don't want your child to be educated. They ain't trying to educate your child for shit. They don't want nothing to do with educating no Black babies, not for real. That's not their job. That's not their interest. They don't give a flying fuck. So what we have to do is be creative about solving the problem. People that really care about solving the problem have to do this. If you have money for schools, allocate some of that money to schools like Freedom Home Academy International in Chicago. that has proven that they know how to educate a Black child. There are Black educators. Raise your hand if you know Black educators that would love to educate Black children. That if there was a Black school that was run by Black people that had adequate funding, that they would know. If I guarantee you, tell me if I had a school tomorrow that had, you know, a $20 million endowment, and I said, I'm looking for Black educators and Black people to hire to help me educate these Black babies. Tell me you don't know at least 10 or 20 people that would love to apply for that job. Raise your hand if you know at least 10 or 20 people that would love to join an effort like that if it was adequately funded, right? So you got all these talented Black people ready and willing to do what's necessary to educate the Black kids. All you got to do is provide some funding. Give these damn schools some money the same way you give money to these fucked up public schools. These broken ass, weak ass, racist ass public schools are getting more than enough money to do whatever dumb shit they want to do, but you won't give a nickel to Freedom Home Academy. I made a donation that wasn't even that much. I donated about $5,000 to Freedom Home Academy International because that's what we had in the budget for donations. I gave him $5,000, and then my cousin came along. My cousin went to the ceremony, and he was so inspired by what they were doing with those Black kids that he gave another $7,000. And do you know that Marcus Klein, the founder of Freedom Home Academy International, literally told us that with that first $5,000, he was going to go build another school? He was literally, my manager's like, oh yeah, he said he's going to go and get a building for another school. I said, how's he doing that? I said, Umar said he need $8.5 million and change to even start talking about building a school. How's he getting a building for $5,000? And it's because he had the heart. He had the desire to educate Black kids, and he's doing it by any means necessary. He's getting it done. And so, you know, to me, you got educators like that. You got thousands of them like that. Why not sprinkle some money on those people? Why the hell are you sprinkling all your dollar bills on Disney when they put out a dumbass movie to hypnotize your Black ass? You'll make it rain on them motherfuckers, but you ain't got shit for these Black educators that are out here doing the work. I mean, fuck Boyce Watkins. I don't matter. I'm not shit compared to these people. These Black people, I've seen them. I've watched them in the trenches with your babies trying to do what they can to educate their kids, and they can't even keep the doors open because they can't get 2 nickels to rub together. Parents ignore them. Educators ignore them. The government ignores them. The politicians ignore them. Ain't nobody giving them the resources that they need. And it's sick. It's absolutely sick. So one of the signs of white supremacy is when they have a standard problem with Black people and they act like they can't solve it. They act like it's impossible to educate a Black child. Like we've just tried and we did everything possible and we allocated all the funds and niggers are just too stupid. Black people are just too dumb for us to educate them. We can't figure it out. Well, the solutions are out there. Y'all just ain't talking to the right people. Like seriously, straight up. How come Kamala Harris and Cory Booker and all these Manchurian Negroes, they'll go meet with Al Sharpton 50,000 times and won't sit down once with Dr. Claude Anderson? Ain't none of these Black people sitting down with Black educators who are in the hood, who are that little Black woman who's running a little school that's got 8 babies from the neighborhood in a homeschool co-op who's got kids that are ready to go to Harvard. Ain't nobody sitting down there saying, what is your solution? How are you doing this? How can we get you some funding? You're a hero to us. You're the next Marva Collins. We're going to allocate you a $10 million budget so that you can mass produce and practically franchise your idea around the world. You see, go watch The Founder of which is a movie on Netflix about how McDonald's was created. McDonald's was created when they figured out a formula for making fast food at a high quality level in a very short amount of time. They reduced the amount of time it takes to make a meal from 30 minutes to 30 seconds. It was called the Speedy System. And the reason McDonald's is on every single damn corner on earth is because Ray Kroc said, we need to package this up, write it up as a system, put money behind it, and push this all throughout the world. So that's why McDonald's is everywhere on every single corner. We need Black education to be like McDonald's, except at a higher level, not food that kills you, but I'm talking about something that is an efficient process that is getting the job done. We don't need one beautiful school. God bless Umar for his school, but I don't give a shit about one damn school. Like, we need 10,000 schools. We need to mass produce what we need. And so if you want to talk about these politicians and how they can help, well, you know, you got access to some of that white money. Get them to stop being racist long enough and stop judging us long enough to allow Black people, authentic Black people who care about the Black community to get access to some of those funds. Why is it that the Black people I know who really are doing the great work, the Vicky Dillard types and others out here like the Jades, Arundel and the Dual Victories and people like, why is it that people like that can't get access to money because they don't agree with what you believe on gay rights? Who gives a fuck? Or why can't they get the money because they don't support your immigration policy and they don't think that it's a big deal that the little Paco got separated from his mama at the border? Who gives a fuck? Like, why are you? That's your problem. That's your problem. You marginalize all the Black people that have real solutions, and you only listen to the Negroes who will play ball with you, which means your goal is not to truly empower Black people. Your goal is not to truly liberate Black people. Your goal is not to truly help Black people. Your goal is to control and to enslave Black people. That's why you're only talking to Al Sharpton, because you got that Negro on a leash. That's why you'll talk to Sharpton and won't talk to Claude Anderson and won't talk to people that can actually give you real solutions. So let me tell you here's what else I text Charlamagne about, just so you guys know. Hit the thumbs up button, please. Please hit the thumbs up button and the share button, subscribe button, and all that good stuff. And if you want a free e-copy of my book, It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, you can go to drboycewatkins.net. That's drboycewatkins.net. And also, in case you want to educate your kids, we actually have financial flashcards and workbooks for Black children that teach them business at an early age. So you can check out our program, our business program for children, at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Also, our workbooks are at financialworkbooks.com. That's financialworkbooks.com. So please type that in. Dual, if you can type some of that in, I'd appreciate it. It's financialworkbooks.com and blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Okay, so here's one more thing. I also mentioned that billions in land was either stolen or given to whites, and we were left out. We should revisit that. Finally, student loans are destroying Black wealth, so making Black people a protected class and forgiving the loans would be a good start on reparations. So I do believe loan forgiveness would make a huge dent in the Black wealth issue. I think also a conversation about all that stolen land would be one that would be a political hotbed, but it would be one that would be a productive discussion. A lot of people, a lot of the deepest sins of America are buried in the past. A lot of the worst things that America has done to Black people are things that happened to your grandparents and your great grandparents, and they're hoping that you'll forget. That's why they don't educate you about any of it. You go to school for 20-something years and you become a doctor and you think that you're all educated and you don't know shit about what they did to you or did to your family. So I think that we need to dig up those conversations. The reason that Dr. Claude Anderson is dangerous for them is because he knows where the bodies are buried. If you read books like Powernomics, Black Labor, White Wealth, The Black History Reader, and Dirty Little Secrets, you find all the dirty little secrets that they've been keeping from you to keep you from knowing your true history. They don't want you to know, A, how great you are, but B, the horrible things they've done to you. There are things that they've done to Black people that are not in anybody's history book anywhere. And if you, in order for the country to really move forward, you're going to have to confront all of that. You're going to have to confront all of that. So anyway, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to stop talking. Damn it, Boyce. You have great ideas. Join the fight, man. We need you. I'm in the fight, but I fight from the sidelines. I'm a marginalized Black man. These people don't want me in the room. They don't want me in the room because they know where I stand. They know where I come from. And I'm rough around the edges. I cuss too much. I'm not politically correct. I don't go for bullshit. So I'd rather support somebody else who's a better fit, who's a better fit for those environments. And I could just sit in my space and say what I say. And maybe one day they'll listen. I mean, maybe when I'm 75 years old or something, there'll be some politician that comes back and says, yeah, I grew up on watching your videos and with my mom and I don't want to incorporate, your ideas and I'll listen then, but I don't think America's kind of ready for this. I think that there are anybody in America that has real clarity about this country, what it really needs and what it's really done to Black people, you're kind of ahead of your time. Even amongst Black people, I'm not just talking about white people. White people can't tolerate you, but a lot of Black people can't tolerate you either. And so, because we're just not mentally, as a collective, we're not mentally ready to be really serious about our future. We're not mentally ready. Like we're easily distracted. We follow rappers that tell us to murder ourselves and prostitute our children and go out and throw all our money away and go to prison. Like seriously, like your favorite rapper is a former stripper who tells you to sell pussy to make money. Like literally, that's your favorite rapper. That's what Cardi B tells you. Like she tells you, like what she does with her body, and she's telling your daughter, like that's how she says, shake your ass. What she say? I forgot. I think she said, shake your little ass, get a little dough, shake it real fast, get a little mo. Like these are the types of lyrics. Like I listen, I pay attention, I analyze when I hear it on the radio or whatever. I'm like, wow, she just really was teaching 7-year-old girls that the way to make money is to shake your ass. So as a community, I think that we're just not ready for war. And what I'm hoping is that, that the people that are hearing this, that you're getting your kids ready for war. You got to, in order to get your kids really ready for war, you got to take them off the track. You just got to take them off the standard, the standard protocol and put them on a whole new shit. Like you got to put them on a whole different trajectory, a whole different style of education, stocks and bonds, real estate, entrepreneurship, Black history. If they learn those things and then reading, writing, math, they're going to be very successful. They're going to be able to do whatever they want. The public school system is pretty garbage. Media is garbage. A lot of what corporate America is garbage for Black people. So basically for Black folks that really want their children to be ready, to really be ready for the future. Like if I was raising a child, I would totally get my child off that grid completely. And I would just handpick what I want my child to consume, the same way you pick their food, right? I'd handpick what I wanted them to learn. I'd handpick, the type of history they need to learn. I'd handpick the level of excellence they're forced to pursue. I would decide all that carefully because we live in a country where even the white people aren't being educated very well. And mediocrity is kind of this infectious disease that's being spread everywhere. And so you end up losing and you don't know why. And it's because you've been trained to be mediocre since birth. So anyway, I'm going to go hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here. I appreciate you guys hanging out. And again, if you want to check out one of these shirts, you can go to drboycebooks.com. That's drboycebooks.com. I got books and all kinds of stuff that you can buy for your family if you want to take a look. And we appreciate your support. And make sure you subscribe and all that. Make sure you subscribe to something before you get up out of here. So take care, guys. I love you. And thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you soon. Peace.